Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Developing Dads podcast. We're behind schedule. Let's put it that way, right? Things have happened. We're unorganized, forgetting things, not turning up.
Busy lives,
technical issues. You know, just
we're here
busy
now.
dad life, right? Busy dad life. Neil, if you're watching on YouTube, does look like he is in a horror movie of some kind.
If I put the light on in the back, it just looks a bit orange.
I mean, it looks a little bit better than it was originally. Originally, it looked like you were lighting yourself from the chin upwards, which is...
I've got a laptop screen here,
right,
and I'm watching you on my monitor.
Oh, okay. Anyway, this is episode 89 of the Developing Dads podcast. We'll probably go through all of our excuses of why we have neglected to upload for the past... How long have we not uploaded for, Neil? Like 2 weeks?
No, we just missed a week.
Have we missed a week? I think it's been 2 weeks since we uploaded, isn't it?
I'm
I swear.
99% sure we've just missed one episode.
Okay. So, yeah, okay.
As long as we get this out tonight.
That's what we're gonna yeah, if it's out tonight, and then if we upload another one tomorrow, is that what we're going to do? The last one was in August, in fact. August 29th. So, it has almost been 2 weeks now since we uploaded. It's scary how time flies, right?
It is. But I feel like I've got a few excuses to tell the audience.
Yeah, I mean, I think most of the people that are going to be listening to this today are... please don't expect us to go through a whirlwind of philosophical ideas of essentially the Daily Stoic. We won't be doing that today. We're just going to be discussing random dad chat, what we've been up to, why we've categorically failed at being able to get a podcast in and doing it. I mean, you know, partly I feel like I'm dying in the heat, being an adopted dad bod Scottish person down in the south of England. So that's struggle.
To the shop, you're sweating.
Yeah, it's shocking. Either way, as with every episode that we do on the Developing Dads podcast, we like to catch up, and this is basically done for this podcast is actually just an excuse to have a catch up because Neil lives in Scotland and I live in England. And we also like the fact that we ask each other how we are, how we're getting on.
We don't actually speak to each other.
Well, I mean, sometimes we send each other text messages, but we've got such busy lives, you know? That's the way it goes. Anyway, Neil, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good after the weekend of just relaxing and enjoying some friends' company. But I was trying to think about what I've been up to for the last 2 weeks, and I guess I'll read off some highlights. I guess one of the highlights was I climbed to the hardest Munros, or potentially the hardest Munros I've done. Very steep ones. We camped towards the top of one of them, which was phenomenal, 550 metres up. First time I've ever done a wild camp that high, and in the morning you just get that kind of standard views in the clouded version, it's called, where you sit above the clouds. That was very, very cool, with a couple of good friends. Went to see a movie with Rebecca called The Sound of Freedom, which I don't know if you've heard about that. Why is he laughing?
Of course, an SNP loving Scottish independence voting couple go to a movie called Freedom.
So you don't actually know what it's about?
Absolutely no idea, but if it's not got Nicola Sturgeon in it, I'm disappointed.
So it was a film that is it was done on a budget, but
it's done on a budget. So this one was just on the cheap, is what you're saying.
It's nothing to do with Scotland or independence or
Nicola Sturgeon's battle bus.
It was about human trafficking, especially with kids, and based on a true story. Very, very eye-opening and a bit terrifying, because the kids' human trafficking industry is worth something like $50 billion a year, and there's more slaves in the world now than there was when slave labour was alive, which is just mad. Anyway, this film was done on a budget
when it was legal. You mean, not when it was alive.
when it was legal. So yeah, it was a very harrowing kind of storyline, very interesting. The fact it was basically a true story. I'd recommend anyone to go and see it. A very high level synopsis is this kind of agent, the police agent guy that helps human trafficking really got attached to these two kids that were taken, and he kind of told his dad that I'm going to find them, and he set up this kind of sex hotel. It was named as on an island with a multimillionaire, but that island was actually just a kind of dummy to get all these kids free. So basically, they got like 50 kids to this island and freed them, and it's just very, 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 very interesting. So that was good to have a bit of a date night with Rebecca. Isla, big milestone for Isla. She can finally ride a bike now. So the boys have been riding a bike for like, I don't know, not quite a year yet, but they're obviously younger. If you're a new listener, I've got twin boys, 5.5, and Isla, who's 8. And yeah, Isla finally managed to ride a bike, and just to see her face, and she's quite a nervous girl when it comes to doing that kind of thing, but to see her face when she's finally managed it, and she was super excited, and she's now riding her bike to school every day, which is awesome. Like, it's a proper proud moment that she's managed to capture that fear and own it. And work's just been like, probably Gordon will resonate. I'm sure he's going to tell us how busy he's been, but for me, my boss has been off unexpectedly for 2 weeks now. She's taken another 2 weeks off. So I've just been like, juggling everything. Been down in London with client meetings, presenting, doing lots of support stuff, doing lots of sales stuff, just like trying to run the show really. So I usually work 4 days, been working 5 days recently, and some more. So yeah, it's been good actually. I quite like the kind of firefighting mode, and just, you got to get shit done, you got to get through it. But I think Light's coming to the end of the tunnel. She's hopefully going to be back in a week tomorrow. She'll be back, so hopefully things will be a bit easier to work on. This weekend I met up with a friend I haven't seen in a few years. She's got a, Gordon will know her, Sarah. Met with Sarah. I won't say surnames, but yeah, and their son. Haven't seen her in a couple of years, so it was just nice to catch up with them. Went to a beach and heard all the news. That's it really. What else? Barbecue today that was called off because of the rain. I don't know if London's been hit by massive storms, but we're getting shafted by rain just now, thunderstorms, lightning and stuff.
Absolutely delightful. Had a barbecue. Had the rents in-laws over. Did a pork loin on the old big green egg, and
I hope it rains soon.
Roast tatties. Well, I kind of do too, because I'm sweating every day. I sweat a lot, so here we are.
Yeah. That's me really. Yeah, it's just been a busy old time. How's the world down in London? I was in London. I think it's the first time I've been in London. I haven't managed to catch up with you.
I know, it's outrageous, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what have I been doing that's meant that I couldn't do a podcast?
Or you forgot. I was sitting here having a beer at 8 o'clock at night. 8:05, I text Gordon.
Yeah.
Actually, rewind. In the morning, I text you and said, "Is it still on tonight?" Yeah, it's still on tonight. So I got my beer ready.
Look, busy. Okay, busy man. And then we did try and arrange other ones, and then you just kept cancelling.
I haven't cancelled.
Yeah, you did. Friday. We're supposed to have one at 2 p.m.
Oh, that would work. That overtakes the podcast. I'm sorry.
Anyway, so what have I been up to? Well, I've been to a wedding that I got 2 weeks' notice invited to. Wow. Yeah, it was one of those.
That makes you feel a bit shit, doesn't it? Because you're like second.
No, of course we weren't, Neil.
Best.
We weren't. We weren't the couple that came because there was cancellation. You know, we were always thought about and invited. I think what it did was, it kind of makes me thankful that I don't think you had any politics in your wedding, did you? No, we didn't have any politics either. Not really, anyway. I mean, Mum tried to invite about 12 people as on the guest list, and I was like, Mum, do you realise, like, you know, it's not cheap to get married in London, and you know, all these people coming.
I've never met before.
Yes. In fact, actually, a funny story. I have no idea if they're going to listen to this or not, but funny story about the wedding. So, got married, right? And we came down the aisle, and then we went to that sort of secret room. We had a champagne just together, and, you know, all love and all happiness and all that kind of stuff. And then everyone went outside. outside this kind of grand manor, basically, is where we were getting married, and that's where we're going to get like a group picture done quickly before everyone sort of went off and had canapes and drinks and stuff. Yeah. Well, the first people I met were some of Mum's friends, and I kind of graciously said hello. Kind of recognised them, but I didn't, and I think that came across in my facial expression as I was sort of kind of trying to work out who they were and politely sort of say hello from a names perspective. But to make it awkward, they proceeded to say, "You don't recognise us, do you, Gordon?"
Oh, God.
And I was just like, no, I don't. Thanks for coming. And then just proceeded to walk off. You know, in that instance, I just feel like wish people would just play along, right? You just play, oh, thanks, I'm right, you know, thanks so much. Yeah, it's great, lovely, brilliant. Enjoy your food, right? Off you go.
Yeah.
No, not in that situation. Anyway, so we got invited to this wedding. It was in the Cotswolds. It's very nice, very tame, very easy, small, like 30 odd people. Lovely meal. Had some food. Didn't drink very much because we were actually driving to Devon. That was the next thing that we were going to be doing. We did a weekend, a few nights in Devon at one of Laura's mum and dad's friends' houses. So we stayed down there. I'd never actually been that far. It's really very nice, Neil. You should go. So we're going to probably do the summer there next year, do a week or so. Had a great time in Devon. Had some lovely fish and chips. Had a little night off just with Laura. Me and her went to the pub. Had a few drinks.
Nice.
So that was kind of like last week. I also went to West Wittering, which is like a Kent coastal town. Yeah. I also decided to not wear sun cream when going to the beach, and it was very warm. So wow. I definitely burnt my feet.
Did you not have sun cream, or did you just make that decision of like?
Well, I sat in the sun and then I put sun cream on, but you shouldn't do that. What you should do is you should put sun cream on and then go to the beach. So I burnt my feet, and they're still peeling to this day. Like it was bad. It was a bad burn. Like not clever, not clever at all. So that was fine. We we'll start with the personal stuff, I guess. I mean, we've also booked a trip to Dubai, which is I'm very, very excited about. That is end of November into December. It's going to be our like proper holiday, 10 days. We're going to be staying a bit with some friends, but also we booked a little kind of not a little one. These hotels are ridiculous, massive hotel with a resort thing, whatever else,
nice.
For a few days. So it just felt like a kind of easy thing to book because we've got friends there now. And
the
it's
flight's
kind of
not that bad. It's like
flight's not like we went right. It's a lovely place. Like it's really nice. It's super easy. So we're gonna go there. I have a great time. I have organised more of Laura's birthday, which I can't reveal on this because A, she's downstairs. You can probably hear my very loud, stupid voice. So I won't be telling anyone what we're doing, but I've organised some more bits and pieces for that, which I think is going to be very cool. Neil knows what we're doing, don't you? You know that. Yeah. 29th of September.
Not long. Jeez.
No. So if you want to get a present or do anything for it, then feel free. No, not that you should reciprocate because I am about as organised as a blind squirrel. So we've got a bit more of that done. And then on the work side, have we spoken since my like creative mentorship weekend?
No.
I don't think so.
Saw it on Instagram, but yeah, good to hear about it.
Yeah, so I did. So for the folks that are listening, there's a few things that I do. One is I have a in-person thing, so I go and film and edit stuff for people for YouTube videos and social media and that kind of thing. And I also have video editing agency, so I have I used to have 3 editors, but I had to get rid of one because it was rubbish. So I've got 2 editors now who edit other people's content. I quality control it, ideas and all that kind of thing, and pass it on. And then I also do like this creative mentorship thing with other videographers and creatives. I have 9 of them that I work with, and I decided to put on a sort of free afternoon where everyone came together, and we did a practical 3 hours, which was fantastic. It was really great fun. I thought it was great across the board. Really enjoyed everyone's time. Then we had a barbecue at my house, and we just had some food and some drinks, and just had a good time. Nice. It was really nice to meet everyone and kind of, I don't know, build a bit of a community. Like already people have started kind of using each other as second shooters for certain things and opening up conversations and accountability, and it's just good. Like it's good, and it's nice to kind of be the anchor to all that, which is really fun. So that's been good. And then from a work point of view, like a few projects, trying to get them over the line. I think I'm now discovering the differences between some types of projects. So, for example, most client work, I get away with like one revision, or in fact, they don't actually want a revision. It's published, it's done. However, in sort of commercial corporate work, I still agree one revision, but one of the projects I just finished had 9.
Wow.
And and not because I couldn't spell anything or something was wrong. It was literally because they just wanted to change stuff. So it's charged. Like, you get charged per hour for that, for extra on top of anything. So it's not like a big deal. It's just kind of want to finish the project, right?
Yeah.
So,
get over the line.
So that's kind of interesting, and I think I'll continue to factor that kind of stuff in. And then just kind of like balancing being a like dad life, like parent life, and Laura being busy at work, and then trying to like fill the gaps where I kind of need to. Like, you know how it feels, Neil. It's like you're just kind of like trying to juggle and just make sure you're in the right place at the right time and doing all the stuff that you need to manage and people and not let this person down or that person down. And then, you know, you can't leave your kid at nursery over time and you've got to go and pick them up and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. That 3 o'clock bell, when the school bell goes and you need to be there at 3 o'clock. There's no like, you can't, you just got to run. But I forgot another big moment. The boys started official football lessons. They've done like, I don't know what you call it, kick a ball around the park and just like fun stuff, but it's actually they're trialling for a team. So it's the Dulwich Juniors. And yeah, they had their first lesson last Monday. They've got another one this Monday. Loved it. Really excited. It's just hilarious seeing like new kids to football, playing a football match. Like, everyone's scared to take a tackle. So one guy just gets the ball and nobody wants to go in and get it, so he just like runs towards the goal, but they're all chasing him. Which is quite funny. So
one of our I think a great grandfather played in a Scottish Cup final.
Wow.
From what I understand, if you ask Dad, it was either a great granddad or a great uncle or something. But certainly someone in our family has played in a Scottish Cup final at football.
Interesting. Yeah.
There you go.
And it's funny, I was chatting to, I'm not into football, and I think Gordon knows this, but I was chatting to dads just watching the boys play. And they're, so what team do you support? I was like, the sport team. Like, I'm the only one there. They're like all chatting about the game that was just last night and the games that are this weekend. I'm like, I have no idea. So I feel like if the boys want to take it seriously, maybe I need to start taking football seriously.
Right, you got to come to Fulham game.
Yeah. And we did the Park Run Juniors. We're getting into fitness. 2.5k Park Run Juniors. Lewis beat Isla and Ben, which he was so chuffed about. But seeing them run 2.5k, like, Lewis didn't stop, which I don't know, he's got tiny legs. Pretty good going. So that was a nice Sunday thing we did this morning.
I also like how kids basically turn you into someone who cannot see anything wrong with their kids. Do you know what I mean? I do it too. Like, I look at her and go, "Oh, she just ran across the garden all by herself,
really fast."
Like, she must be a genius. Like, she must be the greatest kid in the history of the world.
Yeah.
On that note, actually, I do feel like, I don't know if I'm right or wrong in this, but I'm going to take the win for what it is. I feel like she's turned a corner with me. So I don't know what that is. Like, it's something, right? Where for a long time it's mum, right? It's mum.
Yeah.
But weirdly over the past maybe couple of weeks, maybe the last week, she's like specifically asked me for cuddles.
Oh, nice.
Like, and then she made me cry when I was sitting on the sofa with her and we were watching Peter Rabbit, because we do a little half an hour wind down time from 6 till 6:30 before our bath, where we do a little wind down time and she gets to watch Peter Rabbit. And we're sitting watching it. She normally just sits on the other side of the sofa and I sit on the other side of the sofa, and she doesn't want to cuddle. And I said, "Oh, do you want a cuddle?" And she came over and just like lay on my chest and just kind of sat watching Peter Rabbit. And I had a little tear in my eye. It's very very nice.
Are nice.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So I like, a really positive thing in the past couple of weeks has definitely been that there seems to be a shift. There seems to be a little change. Don't know where that's coming from.
I wonder if it's Isla's definitely got a stronger, well, I shouldn't say stronger, but a more visible bond to me, especially when Rebecca's around. It's always like she wants me to do things, and I don't know if it's just a female daughter thing, because the boys don't show that. It's more, the boys more gravitate towards Rebecca, and Isla more gravitates towards me.
I think it might.
Yeah.
I think it might be
I don't know, a safer. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stronger.
I couldn't tell you either, but there's definitely, we could definitely say there's something of a mother-son bond and a father-daughter bond.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, someone's screaming at us in the comments, telling us that there's some sort of, you know, societal pressure and cultural, you know, undertone of something going on, but I don't think so.
I had an interesting observation. And I'll have more society people screaming at me just now if anyone's listening.
Societal people, is that what you're going to call them? Just societal people with pitchforks. There's a crowd of them.
I was listening to Chris Williams' podcast, and this kind of made me think of it when I was running the park run today with the kids. So Chris Williamson was chatting to, I think it's just his flatmate, but I don't know if his flatmate's famous as well, about the big changes the Olympics are making, or the weightlifting federation's making, in terms of they've now got three classes. They've got males, females, and then other. And the other can be the people that are self-identifying as whoever they want to be. Anyway, I was running this park run race with the kids, and it's very apparent, even at 5 years old, the boys are 5, that it seems that boys are a lot quicker than girls. Like, there's probably about 100 kids that are running it, and yeah, the boys just seem to run past everyone, most of the boys, and it was all the girls that were kind of coming way behind. So it's quite interesting seeing just that early age. But there's a clear difference in terms of stamina, strength, whatever. I don't know.
Mentality. I mean, there could be a cultural thing. Like,
yeah.
I definitely don't feel like I deny the fact that there are less role models in football for females. There's less role models for females in rugby. You know, like there just is. There's probably more role models in figure skating for women. There's probably more role models for gymnastics for women, right? So there's kind of, and that role model definitely, absolutely, I'm sure must help drive someone to want to go and do something, because you can copy someone who looks like you go and do the thing, right? But, and then also from a, like I've kind of thought about this for a little while, and I'm curious what you think. I actually worry more about if I have a son growing up in the world that we're in now, right? Boys are doing worse at school. Boys are much more likely to commit suicide, much higher amounts of homelessness,
drug addiction. Like, yeah, there's
there's loads of stuff. Like, men are topping the charts on all sorts of things that are just not nice. Let's put it that way. And I worry about that. So logically, I think that. But I still gravitate more to worrying about my daughter growing up in the world.
Yeah, I've never actually kind of coined it like that.
So with that, I'm kind of curious about how we act when our kids are performing, and then when they're performing, they're competing. Let's call it that, because it is like when they're running, they're either competing against themselves, or they're competing against another kid, or they're competing against their brother, or they're competing against a sister, or competing against someone, right? Because there's some sort of nature, there's something in us. So I just wonder if the way we think about protection and all that kind of stuff, whether it's logically or illogically, you know, are you encouraging Isla as much as you're encouraging the boys? And is it the same? I'm not asking you to think about it too much, but
yeah,
you see what I mean?
Like, point.
You know what I mean?
And do the boys feel more under pressure because, I don't know, I'm pushing them more than I would Isla, and does that have effects later on life? And should I really be worried about the boys more than I worry about Isla? Because yeah, the data tells us that later in life that boys are more at risk of these things. Yeah, it's an interesting thought. Because definitely when Isla is now wants to walk to school on her own, and if the boys say that to me, I mean they're too young for a start, but if they were Isla's age, I don't know. I think there'd be less hesitation. Definitely, but yeah, as you said, data tells us differently, and data tells us that we should be more concerned about the boys.
But I think sometimes I think about it from a power and violence perspective. You know, boys are more capable of defending themselves.
Yeah.
But that's not to say they don't get in more fights. Of course they do. They get into more altercations. Like, I think in London, as an example, last year maybe, I think attacks on strangers. There were 7 strangers attacked women or 7 women were affected by strangers attacking them in London. I think 172 or something was male on male stranger violence. So, like, as men, we are more physical, we're larger, we're more violent, so we can defend ourselves. But in the same breath, there are more attacks on young men. So I think maybe there's that kind of, if women are more vulnerable, perhaps it's to violence if it's perpetrated by a man. So that's why we perhaps are acting in a way in which we're more protective. I don't know. So then when it comes to like a running race, are we more kind of concerned about, the potential of falling over and hurting themselves, and the effects of kind of losing and all that kind of stuff? Do we just kind of dampen it down a little bit? But when it comes to boys, we're just like, fuck it,
go harder,
off you go, son. Go harder, yeah. Keep going, stop it.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's an interesting thing to
because I'm thinking about it. I think about it quite a lot, and I think about it quite a lot. Fear of judgment from other people, but also independently. Like I want Olivia to feel she can do anything. Like obviously within restraints of physics and actual bodily size and all that kind of stuff.
And law.
But never to feel like she's not capable of doing something, or at least taking it on, be it from a physical or mental perspective. And I think I feel very aware that I want to encourage her, not only her kind of emotional side and empathetic side and affectionate side, but I also want to instill her body is capable of doing a lot. And she's strong, and she can climb stairs, and she can climb stuff, and she can be brave, and she can be strong, and she can be powerful. I want all those things. So, yeah.
It's like, I remember speaking about an example in a few podcasts where Isla went to ballet lessons when she was a young girl, and I couldn't imagine putting the boys to ballet lessons. And it just, like, you kind of gravitate towards as a dad or as a mom, you probably gravitate towards the things that society tells you should be okay for kids. So you'd probably never see, or you probably do nowadays, but I can't imagine putting Isla into rugby lessons, which is 5 years old. But if the boys, if they wanted rugby lessons, then yeah, great. So yeah, it's maybe there's probably a change in the way dads.
I'm trying to reject all that. I'm totally trying to reject every single part of that.
It's not like I'm against it. It's just you default to it, I think.
Yeah, but if I have a son, and I don't know, because it's not like Olivia. Well, the thing is though, I kind of practiced. It's difficult to practice ballet at home. It's quite easy to practice football at home, isn't it? Yeah. So like with football, she loved kicking a ball all the time. Like she was always talking about a ball, and she wanted to play with it and kick it and throw it. So I was like, let's go play some football then. So she does football every Monday. We've stopped it now. We're going to do some swimming lessons. But yeah, so it's kind of easy. Whereas ballet is kind of not easy, is it? It's literally, unless Neil, you're a closet ballet dancer, I'm not entirely sure it's very easy for us to.
I think Isla started because she loved dancing around, and like there's videos of her at 3 years old dancing to Ed Sheeran and stuff like that. So she had like a rhyme to herself. So
yeah. So like, why not? It's kind of you, as a parent, you're only just going with what your kid looks like. You think they like.
Yeah, and then we tried piano lessons with Isla. She did that for a year, didn't really stick. Yeah. I think the key thing for me is to give them experiences, and if they
try everything
towards it, exactly.
Try it. Absolutely everything.
Don't force them.
Yeah, and I found that, and I kind of quite enjoy experiencing these different things with her and going through that process, because from what I understand, when two people have new experiences together, then their bond tends to be stronger.
Yeah.
So things like us, when we first went for our ever swimming lessons, first time we ever went to football, like these are all experiences we're going through together, in the sense that I still suffer with some level of trepidation, because first time I went to swimming lessons, do you remember the first time you went to swimming lessons?
I know what you're like. It's hard work.
You turn up, and where'd you go? And you turn up. It's usually in a shitty school, so you've got some shitty changing rooms, and these ones were the size of this sort of second bedroom. And I was like, right, where do I put my stuff? right, okay, put my stuff there, right, I can't get it wet, so I've got to put it here. And then now, and I can change myself, right? I'm a 36-year-old man, I can do that. But now I'm faced with the task of getting Olivia into some a swimming nappy and swimming bottoms with other people watching me do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Trying to figure out how they do it, which way around do they go, how tight should they be, and then she's a bit kind of scared because she doesn't know what's going on or where we are, what's happening.
People are looking at her, and
and then I'm having to get undressed and changed, and then make sure that I've got everything on and all ready. And do I get ready first or does she get ready first? Like, which way around do we do this?
Yeah, where to put
and she
stuff.
asks, yeah, like, where'd you put it? And then, have I got everything? And blah. Yeah, it's so I do feel like if you do experiences with your kid, if you do them for the first time, I'm pretty sure it must have a nicer bonding experience, surely.
Yeah, I always get a bit nervous. Like, I took the boys to the first football lesson last week, and I knew nobody there. I didn't I knew it was at a high school, but I was like, do I go to the reception? Do I just go up to the field and be like, I'm here for the lesson? Like, there's no instructions, but I managed. I saw like other kids playing, so. But yes, that's just that nervousness of it.
So what you're saying is you just saw some kids playing with their dads and you just walked over and were like, hey, off you go on, play some football.
Is this Dulwich Juniors?
and then they started talking about, Hearts of Midlothian and Hibs and all that kind of lot, and you were like, Hibs? Is that what you put on the big green egg?
Yeah, but Fridays, I dread Friday afternoons because Rebecca studies, and I take all three kids to their swimming lessons because I have it at the same time. Friday at 4:00, and that's just trying to get three kids ready on time straight after school when they're high as kites because it's the weekend, and I just dread it.
It's amazing. It's amazing how fatherhood develops your patience and negotiation skills,
and how it differs when you're in public.
Well, this morning, I've only got one kid, so it's hard for me to say. But this morning we had an argument, me and Olivia. Of course we did. The argument went like this: sat in the living room. We make granola together, so I have granola and berries and yogurt in the morning, and we sit and watch BBC News. She loves that, and we have it together. She has a spoon, I have a spoon, and we eat it together. And then I ask her if she wants her breakfast. So she said yes, I want my breakfast. I said, what would you like for your breakfast? She said Cheerios. So I was like, okay, Cheerios. So we get some Cheerios and milk. So she comes in, sit her down, put the Cheerios in front of her. She takes one spoon and she goes, no. Right. What would you like? And she says she wants a yogurt. Now, for various reasons, she's not supposed to have a yogurt in the morning because every single other meal after that she will have a yogurt. So she can't just be eating yogurt all day. So then she wanted a cheese string. And then she didn't want Cheerios, and she didn't want toast, she didn't want peanut butter on toast. And we just had this kind of standoff for quite a while. And I've slowly discovered that if I just kind of hold out for about 5 to 10 minutes, she'll come round. And she got through 2 bowls of Cheerios, right? So we won.
Yeah.
But there is you just got to hold patience, right? You can't. It's not. I think it's just like there must be some developmental stage where it's kind of like I'm trying to decide for myself. I've got this laundry list of things that I like to eat that I know and I want, and I'm going to have them
thing or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like she's all right now as well because she's quite small, so you can kind of just plonk her somewhere and leave her there. Whereas I imagine Isla's now she's got some power behind her, I'm sure.
Yeah. I definitely live by the choose your own or choose the right battles. So there's some things I just let go because it's just not worth it. Other things I'm a bit more stern with. One funny moment today, Isla decided she wanted to make lunch for everyone. So we didn't have enough bread, so I was like, right, we've got rice crackers. So she asked Lewis and Ben what they wanted, and Lewis wanted crackers and Ben wanted rice crackers. So Ben got rice crackers and cheese, and the cheese was just like a block on top with a bit of butter. Like it wasn't great or sliced. It was quite comical. And then Ben took a bite and maybe ate half of it, and then looked at it and said, "I didn't want rice cakes." After he'd eaten half the rice cake, and then Isla flipped out because he was being ungrateful. I just caused a storm. But then in 5 minutes, I just kind of ignored it, and then 5 minutes later, the rice cakes were finished, and Ben had finished them. But Yeah, it's part of dad life. You just got to, I think, choose your own battle, choose the right battles.
I think you'd go nuts if you had battles the whole day.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think you'd probably have bloodshot eyes, never have slept, and gone at least a little bit balder than you are.
Like if the boys kick off and say, I'm not having a shower, it's like, fine, I'll try again in the morning. Like, you don't have to have a shower tonight. You can try again in the morning. I'm not going to fight you to the shower.
And this is it. I do wonder, like, if we had nothing else for Olivia to eat, and all it was Cheerios, and that's it. She'd eat Cheerios.
Yeah, yeah. Is my camera gone? Am I still...
I've just got a funny looking smile on your face. Oh, it's all right. I'm just going to keep talking, and then at least we don't have to stop this podcast. Are you still there, Neil? Okay, fine. Actually talking about negotiations, I'm and then in the midst of negotiating a reasonably big deal with a new client, which I'm interested in your thoughts and approaches on those that kind of stuff. Are you still there? All right, you're still listening. It's just all I've got now on my my picture is just a smiley face of you, Neil. Yeah, it's like you're definitely high on something. Anyway, so I'm going through like a negotiation with a potential new client at the moment, and I'm kind of curious. At the moment, like, I don't need the new client. The new client's great for business, of course it is. But should I just stand by my price? None of those things. Nah. My thought process is this, right? So I've calculated the amount based on a number of things. First of all, the ROI to the client, right? So there's a huge upside of what I could do. The second side of it is the the opportunity cost to me, because this is the product thing that I'm offering is basically my cost, right? It's got a lot of my time rather than say it being like the agency thing. So then there's an opportunity cost, right? I have to turn down a lot more work because I can't work on it. So my thought process is I'm just going to stick by it and be like, if you want it, then you want it. If you don't, you don't. Well, it's still recording at my side, Neil. Well, folks, Neil's going to be back in just a minute, so we'll continue the conversation about my big negotiations shortly. There's nothing like a nice thing to fail on Riverside. Like we use this platform Riverside, and it's normally pretty good, but the past few recordings we've had have not been that good. So I'm hoping Neil comes back shortly, and then we can start recording the podcast properly. But yeah, oh, here comes Neil.
I'm back on a tinny little camera. Yeah, I blame Riverside for that. It just came up saying recording stopped and video stopped.
All right. So, yeah, basically the negotiation thing. I kind of feel like the opportunity cost is high. So the opportunity in terms of the cost to the client should be high, in my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah, but I guess what's the market rate for these things?
I've researched all that. This is a going market rate. It's not like I'm like 10, 20x what it should be.
So
it's just
that I wouldn't worry unless you're desperate for the work and it's a great customer to have in your portfolio.
It's not a case of desperate. I think it would be a great partnership, and I can definitely make this a really cool thing. But it's like I feel like I shouldn't compromise.
Yeah, because the problem is if you win the work at a lower price, then you're going to kind of grudge it every time you're working on it, or You're just not going to enjoy yourself. So
Yeah. Exactly. So I think I'm gonna hold fast. But it's like again talking about negotiations with kids. It's essentially trying to negotiate some deals and some things at the moment to try and build what I'm currently doing. I've got a new website coming. Should be delighted, Neil.
Oh, are you keeping the greenhorncreative.com?
So greenhorncreative.com is taken. I'm doing greenhorncreative.co.
Cool.
So that's going to be that website should be hopefully by the end of the month. Should have a brand new website, all shiny and all lovely, which I'm very excited about.
You're gonna look at marketing stuff and getting ads on it, and as in trying to
what,
promote
ads on
your
my website?
services. No, I meant ads in like social media, linking into your website.
So that's kind of the idea. The idea is sort of I'll use my name to run on my Instagram, and then use Greenhorn Creative as like the back end agency thing that people funnel into. It's just that I don't have one, and I should have one put together for a company, really, or a business. Because I've got a few different things. Like, did I tell you I got something with this guy called Tom Trotter? Or I might be. I'm kind of working on. He's like a fitness influencer guy. So he wants to make some YouTube videos, which would be interesting. I don't know. We haven't actually made anything yet or actually confirmed it, but he's got kind of quite a large following on TikTok and Instagram, and he kind of wants to branch out into YouTube. And again, I find on these types of projects as well, and this is not just exclusive to Tom, it's exclusive to inclusive of lots of different kind of people. It's like to edit a Mr. Beast video takes like a month. If not like
and
6
they've got
weeks.
like, what, 15 people, 20 people probably behind the scenes?
Yeah, it takes a long time to edit these things. And then I have clients that often come to me and they're like, "Hey, can you make this?" And I'm like, "Sure, yeah, but it's gonna have a few zeros at the end."
Yeah.
They're like, "What do you mean? Why does it cost so much?" Well, it's time. What do you think we do?
Do you think the fitness industry is behind in terms of the expectation? Like, you're talking about working for a more commercial company. They're obviously aware of the market rate and aware of the time it takes mostly to get things done. But do you think fitness industry is a bit behind in terms of what people should actually be paying?
I think all industries are behind in terms of YouTube.
Okay.
If you consider the Super Bowl, 100 million views, £10 million an advert.
Yeah.
And that's for national television in America, where you can sponsor Mr. Beast for $2 million and get 150 million views.
Yeah.
So it's like the marketing budgets are not quite big enough yet, or matching up to the potential, which is good. This is good for the advertiser, right? If you get lots of impressions for pretty cheap. Fitness industry as a whole tends to operate more around. It acts like a B to C, but it's actually a C to C.
Yeah. Okay.
So most fitness businesses are just one-man band operations. One person who is ripped or has a special talent or something along those lines, right? They don't operate like a business. They don't look at gross profit, net profit,
Yeah.
They don't look at ROI. They don't look at CPMs, or any of that kind of stuff. They just sell a service, and then they have lots of people do it, and they look at the bank account at the end of the year and go, "That's made more money." That's the level of business. So what they don't understand is, say, gross margin, for example. So Apple will operate, I think, at a gross margin of like 24%, 27%, something like that. Large tech company or large sort of online businesses, probably a bit like yours, tend to operate in like the 60% plus mark in terms of gross margin. Like, it's very profitable. Yeah. But there's still cost, right? So a 40% chunk there is cost to the business, right? To operate and to sell the product and manage the product and whatever else. Whereas most fitness businesses see it as like 99.9% is their gross margin, right? Turnover, the thing that they keep making, that's how much money goes into their bank account, and that's theirs to spend and do whatever they want with. No. So I often have to explain to them, like, Nike make £49 billion a year in revenue. They spend $5 billion a year on marketing.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're making £60,000 a year doing a fitness business and you're not spending £6,000 a year on marketing, in fact, you probably should be spending £12,000 a year on marketing, then what are you doing?
Yeah. But they just need to realise that if they want to grow, and I guess it becomes what do they want from the company? If they just want to keep making 60 grand a year, then maybe they don't need to spend on marketing.
No, they don't. They don't necessarily. But the thing that typically happens is a new industry, which was online coaching, for example. It's very cheap to get customers. It's very easy to get customers. There's low competition. There's also low expectation. There's low service thresholds. As it ages, everything gets more expensive. You get more competitors. You get higher service demands and delivery, better service demands and delivery, which includes apps and technology and things that start to flood the market to service the demand and the needs. You get higher costs because advertising now actually kicks in, and then Facebook realizes that they have to have a CPM or a certain amount cost per acquisition.
Yeah.
So that fundamentally gets worse. So I think if you're not advertising in some way or investing within marketing, then you're going to be left behind very quickly because there are now people capable of helping you scale that much faster. It just costs money.
Yeah.
AKA me.
Greenhorncreative.co.
That's it. It's coming in hot. I do actually have something quite fun next week. I've been playing golf, and I haven't played golf for a little bit, but I'm going to see the poker lads, Harry, Jason, and Robin. We haven't met up since Robin went travelling for an entire year around the globe.
Wow.
He just come back, so we're meeting up on Friday, which is going to be nice. We're going to play some poker and eat some food and have some chats. Then on the Saturday, we're going to go play some golf in the morning.
Wow. Lads, night out.
Lads.
These
posh
staying
lads.
over?
Yeah, these are posh lads, Neil. These are boys that all went to fancy private schools.
A couple of times, I think. A couple of them I think I've met.
You've met Harry. I don't think you've met Jason or Robin, have you?
No, just Harry.
Yeah, these are like one of the boys' grandfathers helped partition India.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty bonkers
to have in your CV.
Anything else you want to add to this podcast, Neil? Or are you getting a bit bored? You seem like you're bored.
No, I'm fine. I'm just like what my week's looking like. No. In a couple of weeks, there's me, Rebecca, and another couple going out in Glasgow for a weekend.
Oh, swinging!
Should be nice. Yeah, got an Airbnb and nice me and Luke.
You are going swinging.
Not going swinging.
That's a good point, actually, Neil. You could tell the audience how famous your brother is. Go on.
This happens more than I'd love to admit. My wife was on a train home she was in Glasgow as well this weekend actually, with a friend, and she was just sitting beside somebody, and I think there was just small talk. Oh, what you up to, or what you've been doing? And there was this woman that was at a strongman competition, and Rebecca was like, "Oh, my brother-in-law used to work with two really famous strongmen." And then found your Instagram, and it was the Stoltman brothers. Obviously, she knew the Stoltman brothers. It was at the event. She was at the event that they were at today, I think, or yesterday, whatever. And anyway, it transpires that this woman knows Gordon, and yeah, Rebecca was very embarrassed, and it was just a small world. Gordon was.
She's had that before. Do you remember the time she was in Starbucks?
There's been a few occasions, but I can't remember the Starbucks one.
Yeah, apparently the Starbucks person had to look at her credit card.
Oh.
And she saw Greenhorn, and she went, "You don't know Gordon, do you?" What can I say, Neil? What can I say?
Yeah.
I know. It's outrageous.
There's another one.
But no, I actually have a very busy couple of weeks coming up. Laura's off to Paris for the next 4 days. So I've got to watch Olivia. Well, I'm not watching Olivia. I'll watch Olivia tomorrow, but then Tuesday, Wednesday, I get a bit of time off. And then Thursday, Friday, I'm on proper duties. Yeah, so I've got kind of quite a busy week, to be honest. But,
nice. I love how busy is just looking after your daughter.
That is busy, though, because I've got to work and look after my daughter.
I know, man. Oh, but I've just got to plan out 3 lots of homework now. So the boys have now got homework to do, and Isla's now got homework to do. It's like, when do we do that?
Oh, you have to do it. Kids do it.
Yeah, I know, but when do you get the facilitate the session for them to do it?
It's got to get that calendar out, Neil.
Yeah.
I didn't actually tell you. I got my hallway painted. And you know what, Neil? I never want to have to pay for it. I never want to have to do anything in this house ever again. I just want to keep paying for it. I was working. Took them 4 days, 5 days, and they did it. They beautifully. They've done it amazingly, Neil. You're going to come in and you're going to be like, this is a brand new hallway. Lovely, really nice. These Moldovan guys, and it's perfect. Like, honestly, absolutely perfect. I loved it. And I was just sitting working all day, and they were grafting away, just doing my hallway, and it's turned out beautiful. It's lovely. I had to pay for it, but I've just got to keep earning more money. That's what I got to do. I don't ever have to paint a wall. I don't have to paint a wall ever again in my entire life.
Oh, I painted this whole house, every single room. That's a bit of an achievement, but yeah, I'd never want to do it again. Next time I buy a house, I definitely want to get painters in.
Yeah,
I resonate with that.
It's the best thing ever. All right, I've got to edit this before I go to bed, so then it's up for tomorrow morning, and we don't miss a deadline. But have you any more to add, Neil? Any more quotes or anything interesting?
No. We need to get a topic, and I think we need to try and get 2 in a week sometime, just so we've got a buffer, because I hate missing one. But yeah, let's get some topics organised. Let's get some.
I mean, if anyone wants to suggest any topics, that'd be quite nice, because we've managed for 2 years without anyone actually ever suggesting anything.
Yeah,
we've got to interview our wives, though. That's something we've got to get sorted.
Yeah. I don't have another mic. I guess I could pass the mic.
Yeah, because then she wouldn't be allowed to talk. You could, and she's not allowed to actually hold the mic. You just hold it to her mouth, and then I can hold mute as well. So just in case, yeah,
yeah, we'll maybe organise that one. But anyway, I'll sign off. Thanks for listening. You can find us on Instagram, Do Helping Dads. I haven't posted a reel in a couple of weeks because I've just been flat out of work. But I'll commit to getting some out next week. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the usual stuff. YouTube sometimes. I think there's a backlog of stuff to upload. But Gordon's got a thing about what do you call them, thumbnails that he wants to create. Anyway, cheers for listening. Good night, goodbye, good morning. See you there.